The Monday, November 30th, 2020 Board of Adjustment meeting is now in session. First item on the agenda is roll call. When I say your name, please say here. Michael Nichols.
Here.
Lance is not here. Kevin Maston.
Here.
Schwan Gabriel.
Here.
Russell Parmel.
Here.
Oh, do you prefer Russ?
Yeah, Russ Parmalee.
Yeah, Parmalee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. And Kentress Gerald.
Here.
Tina Caulfield.
Here.
Suzanne Meyer.
Here.
And Bob Bruno.
Here.
And I'm Debbie J. Present. Staff presentation for format for remote meeting. We will now have the staff present the format for our remote meeting.
So I will give the format for tonight's meeting. It's a little different. I'll explain in my presentation. Recent amendments to the state statute has clarified the Board of Alderman procedures. The Board of Adjustment procedures. The quasi-judicial board has powers and procedures resembling those of a court of law or judge. This manner of decision-making requires board members to objectively identify facts and draw conclusions from factual evidence. The Board of Adjustment conducts an evidential hearing, not a public hearing. The board is requesting the submittal of evidence and not public comments. The burden of proof lies with the applicant to bring sufficient evidence before the board to allow members to find in the applicant's favor. If equal persuasive evidence is introduced by opposing sides in a case, the party that has the burden of persuasion loses, based upon North Carolina Institute of Government. Anyone who wishes to speak must present evidence that they have standing. Only individuals who have standing in the case may provide testimony or participate as an expert witness. An individual may have standing when they can submit factual evidence and not hearsay that they would sustain direct injury or harm by granting the special use permit. The Board of Adjustment may vote to approve, disapprove whether or not a person has standing. Expert witness. Expert witness shall provide testimony to establish their credentials and rationale for consideration as a subject matter expert. Hearsay cannot be used as facts. The person providing testimony must have some grounds of expertise on the statement they provide. Difficult cases that require additional fact findings may be continued by a board vote. This may include continuation of a meeting at the actual site or a meeting scheduled for a future date. The Board of Adjustment shall issue a special use permit only when the Board of Adjustment makes an affirmative findings as follows. The uses will not materially endanger the public health, safety, if located where the proposed development according to the applicant and plan is submitted and approved. That the use meets all required conditions and specification. Use will not substantially injure the value of adjoining or abutting property, or the use is a public necessity. And fourthly, that the location and character of the use, if developed accordingly to the application and plan submitted and approved, will be in harmony with the area in which it is located and in general conformity to the Kernersville development plan. Applicants providing evidence. The applicant has completed the required oath and confirmation they agreed to a remote meeting. All others who wish to present evidence for standing. No other individual has submitted evidence to be considered for standing in tonight's meeting. However, we can receive a call. Providing evidence, you may call 336-996-7289 to request consideration for standing for tonight's evidential hearing. Qualify yourself to provide factual information. If an individual has standing, they may request that a remote meeting not be held. And that's the staff presentation for tonight. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Jeff. Okay, now we'll approve the minutes. We need to approve the August 24th minutes. Is there a motion for approval of the August 24th minutes?
A motion.
Second.
Suzanne? Thank you, Fentress. And so we'll take a vote. When I call your name, please just say vote yes or no, responding that you approve of the minutes from the August 24th meeting. I approve. Michael?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Shawan?
Sorry about that. Yes.
Oh, it's okay. Russ?
Yes.
Fentress?
Yes.
Tina?
I wasn't at the last meeting, so should I?
Did you read over?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you approve of it as it reads?
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And Suzanne?
Yes.
And Bob?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is a public hearing, and it involves Jason and Meredith Hardy, owners, applying for a special use permit to allow an oversized accessory structure requiring authorization by the Board of Adjustment for property located at 780 Twin Creek Road, being all PIN number 6895-22-1181-00, containing 1.58 acres plus or minus, and located in an RS20 zoning district. Zoning docket K-20.03. And so now the staff will present the staff report, please.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. It's not starting for me. All right. So the applicants in this case are Jason Hardy and Meredith Martin, and they have applied for a special use permit to allow an accessory structure requiring authorization by the Board of Adjustment for property located at 780 Twin Creek Road. The site is approximately 1.58 acres and is zoned RS20, residential single family with a minimum lot size of 20,000 square feet. The Unified Development Ordinance requires accessory structures to be located within the side or rear yard and to be set back from all property lines. The proposed accessory structure would be constructed within the rear yard of the lot and set back in excess of the minimum requirements, which are 75 feet from the front and 3 feet from the sides and rear. The UDO sets size limits for accessory structures, which include not exceeding 5% of the zoning lot size and 25% of the required rear yard area. In this case, an existing garage structure will be demolished, and the proposed structure will cover approximately 9% of the minimum lot area and 37% of the required rear yard. It's important to note that the actual lot area and actual rear yard area both exceed the minimums required. The UDO states that the Board of Adjustment shall issue a special use permit only when the board makes an affirmative finding as follows: that the location and character of the use, if developed according to the application and plan submitted and approved, will be in harmony with the area in which it is to be located and in general conformity with the Kernersville development plan. The images on the left show the proposed garage structure, The proposed structure will be a metal building manufactured by Choice Metal Buildings and constructed on a concrete slab. The colors will be complementary to the house. The south and north sides of the building will have garage doors. The east facade will feature a man door and windows. The images on the right show existing accessory structures on neighboring parcels along Bolter Road and Twin Creek Road. The UDO sets out specific guidelines for processing special use permit requests to include timeliness of application submittal and public notice of the hearing. All timeframes were consistent with the UDO requirements. The worksheet shown here is intended as a guide for the board's discussion on the matter and is also included at the end of your staff reports. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Rochelle. Does anyone on the board have any questions? Okay, do we have anyone via YouTube live stream? If there's anyone there, if you have any questions, you can speak up. And so the board will now hear testimony from the applicant. The burden of proof is on the applicant to bring sufficient evidence before the board to allow the board to find in the applicant's favor. If equally persuasive evidence is introduced by opposing sides in a case, the party that has the burden of persuasion loses. So we invite the applicant to state his name or hers and address and to provide any information that you would like to share with the board.
This is Jason Hardy at 780 Twin Creek Road. And just wanted to reach out and thank everyone for meeting with us today. We're looking to build this building for our private use to store, our lawnmowers and that sort of thing, four-wheelers, strictly for personal use, and just be able to provide additional storage here at our residence. We did have one question. We had gotten a couple of different pieces of information regarding the setback requirements. And on the site map, we have it at 30 feet from the rear and the side property lines. And the only adjustment we would like to make is seeing that the minimum requirement is 3 feet from the side and rear, is to be able to go to a 20-foot setback from the rear and side to give us a little bit more of our yard back, which would still be well within the minimum requirements. But that's all that I have right now.
Okay, thank you. Does the board have any questions for Jason?
Yeah, I have a question. Am I correct? There is an existing wooden garage back there, but that's going to be removed. Is that correct? That'll be torn down?
That is correct.
Well, and just a logistics question. Does that need to be done before the new building can be constructed, or afterwards, or at what time does that have to be done? If that's a condition of the permit, does that have to be done prior to the construction of the new building?
I do not believe that would. That would not be a condition. That's up to the applicant. He's not required to tear down his existing building.
Yeah, but in his application, he is saying that it will get torn down, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Jeff, any condition that says you can't run a business out of that accessory structure, does that need to be added to the approval?
The board can add that as a condition.
Does zoning allow it? If they wanted to?
You can apply for a home occupation to run a business in the accessory building.
got a question. Wanted to know if he'll be taking any trees down to put this building in, and will it have access to Volta Drive?
This is Jason Hardy. Yes, we will remove some trees on the back piece of our property to allow space for the building. And yes, we will have access to the Volta Drive with a gravel driveway.
It's going to be built on a slab, or do you foresee any drainage issues?
The slab will be raised up, so no, there should be no drainage issues.
I have a question of staff. What percentage of the neighboring properties were notified of the adjustment request?
The UDO requires that adjacent property owners are noticed. So not a specific percentage, but if the properties are adjacent or located immediately across the street, then those property owners were noticed.
Thank you.
Sure.
Does anyone else on the board have any questions of Jason or the staff? Okay. We could hear from any members of the public who would be in favor or in opposition. Adam, do you know if there's anyone there or anyone who's called in?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Debbie, a clarification on the setbacks offered. I would recommend if the board does approve that the condition reads the structure shall conform to the setback standards of the UDO. So the condition would be the setbacks will conform to the UDO. That would give them the flexibility just to come into conformance with our standards.
Okay, to go 20 feet setback on the rear and the side.
Yeah, staff is not prepared to answer the specifics, but we can, if you had a condition that it would meet the UDO standards versus what was submitted, that would assure that you're recommending approval of something that conforms, just in case what he wants does not work because of right-of-way or easement issues. We just want to make sure that we don't have a specific setback, but setbacks that would meet the UDO.
So should that be a condition that is set?
Yes, I would recommend it as condition because it's different than the site plan.
Okay. Thank
Is a
you.
motion required?
Yes.
So move.
Okay. We'll go ahead and go with the questions that we asked. Let's see. I think we're supposed to take a roll call first, though. Well, the motion is enough to go ahead and go through the 4 conditions, isn't it?
Yes.
Required UDO.
Just a clarification
That's not
of the.
UDO.
Okay, and so we do have that one condition set that Jeff said. And then we have our inquiries and our public testimonies that are complete. And so we've gone over the findings on the factual testimony and evidence presented without consideration of hearsay, that the use will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed and developed according to the application and plan as submitted and approved. that the use meets all required conditions and specifications, that the use will not substantially injure the value of adjoining or abutting properties, that the location and character of the use, if developed according to the application and plan submitted and approved, under the one condition, will be in harmony with the area and in which it is located and in general conformity with the Kernersville development plan. And so Ventress gave the motion regarding the request for the special use permit. And do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, Suzanne seconds it. And so the board shall respond with one of the three options. It's either to approve the special use permit as presented by the staff, or to deny the special use permit as presented by the staff, or to approve the special use permit as presented by staff with this condition that Jeff has presented. And so we have the motion, we have the second, and so now we'll take the vote. And so in taking the vote, we'll just say yes if we are all in agreement with the third one, which is I move to approve the special use permit as presented by staff with the conditions that Jeff Hatling spoke of. And if you don't, that's what the yes will be saying, is that we agree to that. But if you suggest that we deny it, then state that. Or if you suggest that we just approve it, then you can state that. And so with the roll call, I agree to the option number 3, which is with the conditions presented by Jeff. And Michael, how do you vote?
Option 3.
Thank
Yes.
you. Kevin?
Approve option 3.
Shawan?
Option 3, approve.
Russ?
Yes for option 3.
Ventress?
Option 3, please.
Tina?
Yes to option 3.
Suzanne?
Yes, option 3.
Joanne is not voting. Thank you for being here, though. And Bob?
Yes to option 3.
Okay. Thank you so much. And so the special use permit is approved with the condition as Jeff Hatling spoke about. And so we have that approval. Thank you, Jason, for being with us. And does staff have any updates?
Just a couple things. So tonight, in my presentation, you probably noticed that the new statute is really emphasizing that a Board of Adjustment hearing is not a public hearing, but it's an evidential hearing. We'll actually be changing the language in the UDO for that to make it clear that we're not looking for public comments, but we're actually looking for factual information by somebody who is standing. And you may have also noticed that if somebody wishes to speak at a evidential hearing other than the applicant, they must first present evidence that they do have standing. And like tonight, we did not have anybody who wished to speak and to have the board decide whether or not you're going to accept the person's request for standing. Staff will be working harder at getting information out to the general public regarding the first step to speak at an evidential hearing, which is becoming recognized by the Board of Adjustment to have standing. And if the board does vote to approve standing for that individual, they can speak and provide evidence. So that really, I think, will tighten up things. As remember, we had the earlier cases, we didn't have too much fun with them because there's so many people speaking public comments versus evidential. So that's really going to help, I think, be more factual. So that's, some little changes, and we'll, like I said, we're going to emphasize that when we send public notices out to adjacent property owners. When people call in, because they see a zoning, the Board of Adjustment sign goes up at the site. So we're going to add that in our information. And we'll also work with an individual helping them provide evidence of standing or, inform them from our educated guess they may not have standing from the Board of Adjustment. But so that's, I think it will help the process. Does anybody have any questions on that? But earlier tonight, before somebody welcomed Rochelle and congratulated her on Citizen of the Year for Town of Kernersville Chamber of Commerce. I do regret to announce that Rochelle is moving on to Fort Worth, Texas. Her last day is December 10th. Professionally, I'm very excited for her. Personally, and as a workmate, I'm disappointed. I'm losing such a great team member. We'll miss her greatly. So congratulations to Rochelle on that second accomplishment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats. Double congrats.
Congratulations.
Lucky she got that award for Citizen of the Year first.
Can we take it back? She's leaving now.
That is wonderful. Congratulations. You'll love Fort Worth.
Thank you so much.
Yes, that is, but we will miss you. So.
You will be missed.
Oh,
Yes.
thanks. Yeah. Well, I figure we're in this virtual world now, so anytime I get ready to see somebody's face, all I've got to do is tune into one of your meetings. So we're all still connected.
You're always welcome to.
I'll call in and make a complaint.
We won't give you standing, Rochelle.
That's wonderful.
Beth or Rochelle, do you guys have anything?
Not for me.
And Board of Adjustment, thank you for having this meeting on November 30th instead of towards the end of December. I'm sure the applicant appreciated it. And I appreciate all you guys coming out tonight. And I wish you the best holiday season in front of us. Thank you.
You too. Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you so much. And so we can have a motion for adjournment
So moved.
in a second.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so this meeting has been adjourned and it is 6:29. Thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas.